Evening. We're out in van again for the weekend, just me and Billy. Tracy's having to work this weekend, isn't she, pal? So we've took advantage of our weekend off and head up onto the moors again in the middle of nowhere. We're actually about 50 yards Cumbrian side of the Yorkshire Dales boundary, and we're about 3 miles above the town of Kirkby Stephen. We're going to do 2 hills this weekend, starting with this one over here, 9 standard rig, and this one to the front of the van, Mallerstang Edge. Mallerstang Edge is actually in the Yorkshire Dales, and 9 standard rig is actually in Cumbria. Just beautiful up here. Little awning here, makeshift. Do our cooking behind because there's a bit of wind on the moors tonight. We've got the bed all set up already, just needs drop down on the front. I'll let you have a little look at the bed because it's another one that I made up. We've got storage underneath it, as you can see. I've got my cutlery and I've got my food in that box there. We made it out of 18-inch ply, nice and strong. Got the fridge here, full of food and drink. Another awning, a bit more of a professional one. And we've got the top box for anything else we need. We've actually got an internet connection up here and a good phone signal, so quite happy. We can watch a bit of TV. So I think I'm going to knock something up to eat, get a drink, and I'll catch you in a bit. I'm just knocking some tea up for myself, nothing fancy tonight. We've got some chicken wraps, some nice chicken drumsticks there with a bit of tomato. I'm going to have some hot chilies, bit of lettuce, yellow peppers, a bit of spring onion, what a gourmet delight, eh? We're not finished yet. And a bit of boiled egg. Bit of salt and pepper. I've got both in here. And a nice generous helping of mayo. So there you go, as easy as that. I have got food to cook, but can't really be bothered. Can't get them shut, there's that much in them. Bag of the world's greatest crisps, XL, only available in Cumbria and Dumfries and Galloway. Enjoy! Lovely, not a bad view. Going to get a nice sunset tonight. We've got rain and thunder forecast, but it's a bit sporadic. Met Office doesn't really know what's going to happen, so hopefully it'll stay away. That's good. You've had yours. Our first drink of choice tonight, a bottle of Henry Weston's. Medium dry, cloudy vintage, full bodied and fruity. 7.3%. My favourite. Cheers. You know where I'm at, Henry, if you want to sponsor me. Originally this weekend I was going to head into the Dales and knock a couple of the Yorkshire Three Peaks off, but last minute I decided to go somewhere I figured would be a bit quieter, and I'm not wrong. It is very, very quiet, just how I like it. We're actually parked where we're going to walk first thing in the morning, so perfect. You know, first thing in the morning our walk is going to be up there or up there, depending on which side of the road we cross. The wind's dropped off now. I think I'll put the drone up. I might say good night now and catch it in the morning, or I might catch it after the drone's been up. Well, good morning. We've had a bit breakfast and we're just heading off now up to 9 Standard Rig. We've left the car where we were parked last night because it's almost right in front of the footpath, and we're on the footpath now heading for Rowlinson Gill. Depending on how we feel today, we might bag a couple of other little hills, we might go off piste. I'll certainly let you know if I do. But today our ultimate destination is them 9 beautiful rock cairns just past the summit of 9 Standard Rig. As far as the weather goes, I'm not confident one bit that it's going to stay dry. Look at this little feature down here, which I'm almost certain is fenced off to stop the sheep falling in. An interesting little feature. Also very dangerous if you're a sheep, or if you fell down there and hurt yourself. This one here is very deep. In fact, I can't see what's down past that darkness there. I'm going to head back to that gate now. I only came in here to show you them grikes and sinkholes. So to keep en route, instead of going through the gate, if you don't want to risk your life checking out them sinkholes, head down this side of the fence, the left hand side, and up here there should be another gate to get us onto the fell side just after this bit of limestone scar. You could climb over this fence if you wanted. Them holes are just there, but I wasn't going to do that for the sake of those of you that don't like climbing fences or lifting dogs over fences. Just go back to the gate. As you can see, we've picked up the footpath. We've passed all the fences and gates now and we're on the open fell side. I can feel a little bit of rain on the back of my neck. Oh dear. You'll have noticed in my walks this year that I don't think I've had a wet one. I have had a bit rain, the odd shower and stuff where I've had to put my windproof jacket on, but I've never actually had to put a waterproof jacket on this year. I've got a new one actually that I got at Christmas time, never been worn, so I'm sure you're gonna see that one today. A load of grouse just lifted there. These walks can be very easy, or they can be a little bit tougher. You know, if you want to see anything, if you want to find anything or explore, you sometimes got to go off the footpath, which will just take you straight up to 9 standards and then back down, just so you can bag it. But I prefer to do a little bit of exploring, so I think the first little outcrop of rocks we're going to go to is called Jack's Standard, which is just below 9 standards. There's a load of dairy cows just ahead of us, so I've took a slight left. I've gone off piste a little bit. I'm going to avoid them at all cost because they were up and they were watching us. I don't think they're seeing Billy because he's a bit low, but there's no way I'm going through them. No way. I'll walk 10 miles round him if I've got it. Found a little track here which will do. They're over the brow of that hill, just after them 2 sheep. There's a wall straight ahead of me. If them cows head for us, we'll be straight over that wall. I'm on a rough track, but I'm definitely heading the way I want to go. There's them cows there, you can just see them. That's Jack's Standards up there. There you go. We're on another path. An even better one. There's paths all over these moors. Some are on the map, but a lot aren't. In fact, most of them aren't. This is Rowlinson Gill that I mentioned earlier. So we have eventually got here. A couple of diversions avoiding cows. Just look at the view down the gill. Absolutely stunning. As I just mentioned, Jack's Standards up there somewhere, but I'm actually going to stay on the path and head for 9 standards because the weather has just came over me and I'm thinking it might be clear up there at the moment. I'm going to come back by Jack's Standard. It's seriously muggy and warm, and the midge is horrendous. If you stop for 5 minutes, they start chewing on you. So I'm going to keep moving, and hopefully when I get up to that cairn and outcrop up there, you never know, there might be a tiny bit breeze, but there's absolutely nothing at the moment. No sunshine to burn them off. Dear me, imagine what it must be like in Scotland. This is why we've been heading into Yorkshire. So from the old shelter you can see Jack's Standards. We're going to stay on this path and head up to 9 standards while the weather's behaving itself. We'll come back that way. Mallerstang Edge behind us is in the clag. This hill here is called Hartley Hill over the other side of the gill. We've bagged that in the past. It's worth pointing out the bogs on these moors aren't like the ones in the Lake District, or I don't think they are anyhow. I feel the ones in the Lake District are a bit more predictable because most people know about them and know where they're at. The bogs up here on the moors, you know, they could be up to your knees, they could be over your neck. You don't want to fall in a bog up here. You might never get back out. We're just topping out on the summit ridge. The true summit of 9 Standards Rigg is just up there by the big cairn, and the 9 Standards are just to my left. We're going to go and visit the 9 Standards first. They've got a nice limestone path now connecting the summit to the cairns. Never used to be here, this. So the purpose of the 9 Standards apparently was to indicate the border between Westmorland and Swaledale, but it's not exactly known. It's not even known exactly when they were built. There's a big monument here just before you get to the 9 Standards. So the cairns now are actually in Cumbria and the Yorkshire Dales, because they're actually slap bang on the border. And just look at these. Absolutely beautiful, very impressive. Look at the height of some of them. Some are round on the top, some are pointed, some are square. Look at the height of this one. So from the cairns we'll head over to the true summit, and then we'll head back down via Jack Standards. The weather's definitely behaving itself at the moment. Thunder and lightning was what was forecast. It's very unpredictable forecasting thunder and lightning, so you'll often find it doesn't happen. But when it does happen, you really don't want to be up here, or you want to take shelter somewhere if you get caught in it. The summit of 9 Standards Rigg, 662 metres. It's a Hewitt, a Nuttall and a Madeline. We'll stay on the ridge line, and about half a mile or so up here we'll start dropping down to our right. We're going to stay on the path and head over to White Mossy Hill and then down to Jack Standards. And we could be going off piste because I can't see a path on the map down to Jack Standards. The summit of White Mossy Hill, it used to be a Nuttall, but it's still heated, so it's out now. It's got a mobile summit cairn look. Wow, look at that, that's kind of interesting. They're using gravestones to make the path. Right, from here I think we've either got to go past these pallets of flagstones. I think I'm going to drop into the middle of them here, and then somewhere along the line we've got to drop right. This path here, heading away from the pallets of flagstones, I think might take us down to Jack Standards. Looks to me like it could be curving off to the right, so I'm going to take it. I know for a fact if I get further down here and the path runs out, I'm going to have to go off piste, but I'm not bothered. The path or track is actually heading down to Coldberg Scar, and Jack Standards is actually the end of Coldberg Scar, so when we hit the top of the scar we should just be able to follow it to the end. Path's getting a bit more sketchy now. Faint quad bike track. I just hope when we hit Coldberg Scar that the ground's clean enough. It's not too hard a ground that we're going to struggle on, because the ground I'm on at the moment I've never been on in my life, so all a little bit of a learning curve. If there is no route, I'll make one. The quad bike track appears to be bearing off to the right, and that's the way we need to be. So if it doesn't, we're going to have to go off piste. Otherwise we're going to end up down on the road about 2 miles from the car, which isn't the end of the world. You often find on the edge of the scars the ground will be quite clean, and the farmers will use the harder ground to get around on the quad bikes rather than being in the middle of the soft boggy stuff. We're right on the edge of the scar now. It's below us, called Scar. I'll just go over to the edge a little bit and show you. There it is. That at the end of the scar is Jack Standards, so we're going to follow the edge of this scar. And then from Jack Standards we'll drop back down onto the footpath we were on earlier. Yep, as I said, nice easy ground here. No path on the map, but probably being walked or driven by a quad bike at some point. Just look at how vast that is. Mallerstang Edge over the other side of the road. If I looked hard enough I'd see the van. Can't see anything else down on that moor. A few sheep, a few bogs. We're just approaching a very atmospherical Jack Standards, and as you can see, it's a fantastic little outcrop with a few cairns, very out the way, it's not on the beaten track. Here we are. It's not a hill as such, it sits at about 640 metres at the end of the scar. We're going to have our lunch here and then we're going to drop down the front back to Rawlinson Hill. You can just see the wall that we came down earlier this morning. Once we hit that wall we'll just follow the track that we came on back to the van. Our only obstacle now is them cows we encountered earlier. Guess who's come back out to play? I'm in Yorkshire, for God's sakes. I can expect this in Scotland. You got to be prepared, eh? I can't sit here for 5 minutes in among these midges. They're horrible. I don't even like one midge, never mind a million. Not getting bitten at the moment, thankfully. Don't think anyhow. Sky is as black as hell there coming in from the north. It's time I got myself back down to that gill in the wall, back to the van. I think the thunder's on its way. Back to Rawlinson Gill. I'll just follow him. I hope you enjoyed my Scarfell video up the Lord's Rake and West Wall Traverse and Deep Gill. It's doing very well on YouTube, so thank you for that. As you can see today, a week later, a very, very different kind of walk. This is what we do, this is what we like. You know, one day we might be up scrambling by the skin of our teeth in among the crags and rocks, and then we might be on the moors just wandering off-piste, making tracks, making routes. There's Jack Standards behind us now. I've hit a bit of shitty hard ground here, a few sieves right in the bottom, but just over the way there's the wall that I'm heading for. It's only about 100 yards, a couple 100 yards at the most, so we may well have strayed from the quad bike track, but we're not far away from the path. Whew. And here's our path that we were on earlier this morning. Now we just got to get past the cows. it's just to plod back to the van now. I'll catch up with you just before we get to the van. I'm on another path, but I'm still too close to them cows for my liking, so I need to get over to that fence. Right, I'm back at the gate here now. That there is the footpath that I should have been on, running straight through the cows. Back to the safety of the fence. You might be wondering why I've got such an issue with cows. I've mentioned them before. If you're new to the channel, I've had issues with cows in the past, especially if they've got calves. These ones don't have calves, but I still don't like the look of them. I know what kind of cows are friendly. The friendly ones are usually your belted Galloways or your plain black Galloways. Highland cows, they're usually friendly. Them woolly things that's down in Ennerdale in the Lake District, I think they're actually Galloways. They're friendly. Even when they've got calves, they appear to be friendly. But any kind of dairy cow or Frisian cow, I keep well away from them. It's just not worth the risk. Every year people get killed by cows or seriously injured, especially if they've got a dog with them. Rain's proper on now. It looks like it's completely engulfed us. It's up on the ridge of 9 standards and it's thick down the ridge of Mallerstang Edge as well. Looks like it could be in for the afternoon. We're not far from the car now. We're not far from the van now. My apologies if I sometimes call the van a car or the caravan. It's kind of a little bit in between, isn't it? It's a caravan. We're only a few hundred yards from the caravan now and the rain's coming on quite heavy. I'm gonna call it a day. I'll catch you later for some camping food. Tonight we're going to have something that's becoming a bit of a rockstar Billingo camping favourite. In total the walk's about 6.5 miles. I'll put the stats and that on for you. It's been a great walk, proper adventure, and we've actually managed to get down before that weather came in. We'll chill out this afternoon and hopefully tomorrow the weather will have picked itself back up and we'll do Mallerstang Edge. There she is, and she's facing the right way for putting that awning up, because we're going to need a bit of shelter. So we're over 500 metres up here. I can imagine it gets really bad, the weather. It's absolutely pouring it down now. Just down the road there, the snow poles. So I don't think it's the kind of place you'd want to be up in the middle of winter if there was a lot of snow forecast. But we kind of chilled out and relaxed. Got the awning up. Bed's all sorted. Charging my gear up. I'm going to have some tea soon. Well, the rain's finally eased up and I am starving, so it's time for some food. Tonight we're having our camp favourite: hot dogs, onions, tomato sauce, and we have some sliced sandwich rolls. Doing that like arty-farty cooking stuff that people do on the channels now. Chopping the onion and that, making all them foodie noises. I do like butter on almost everything I make. None of that cheap rubbish either. Proper Anchor. You know where I'm at, Anchor, if you want to sponsor me. The hot dogs were lovely, but I'm still a bit peckish, so I'm going to knock myself a couple of chicken sandwiches up. One for now and one for the morning. Bit of chilli pepper, spring onions, and of course the chicken. Like the sound effects? That's what I call a sandwich. And that, folks, is as much cooking as I'm doing on my YouTube channel. Billy has a sensitive stomach, so he gets a staple diet of wheat-free wag and tuna fish. And here he is, patiently waiting. Come on, lad, you can have it in the porch. There you go. The rain's back on. There's just no letting up. No thunder and lightning yet though. And the hills have cleared up. Gin and orange. Tango to be exact. Cheers. Morning, we're still in the same location as we were when we arrived on Friday night, where we parked up for 9 Standard Rig, which is behind us there. We've done that yesterday. Today we're going to do Mallerstang Edge, which is up there. The summit of Mallerstang Edge is actually called High Seat, and it's 709 metres. So we've just crossed the road and caught up with this path here, where we're going to head slightly to the left of the hill, up that good, clear path. It's worth mentioning that a lot of folk do both these hills on the same day, in the same walk. You know, just basically park up where we parked, cross the road, head to the summit of one, drop back down, back over the road and head up to the summit of the other. You've got to remember that we're actually parked over 500 metres and the highest of the two, High Seat, is 709, so you don't actually have too much ascent and they're not too far in distance. It's turning out a lovely day again. After that rain we had yesterday afternoon, it absolutely pelted it down all afternoon. We didn't get that thunder and lightning, but thankfully I got back off 9 Standard Rig before the rain came on. Last night I let Billy out late on, about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was pea soup right up to the van. You could not see 2 feet in front of you. Got up this morning about 7. Started lifting. It's about 9:30 now and it's lovely. It's a little bit windy, but that's all right, that's nice. Plod away up this big broad path. On the way up to the summit we'll actually pass another little hill, an insignificant one, High Pike Hill, 642 metres. I don't know its classification. Certainly doesn't have any classification on the information that I use, but it probably will be something. High Pike Hill. You can see the caravan down there where we parked, so we've made a good bit of ascent already, probably 150 metres. So that's it, we've topped out on the summit plateau. A nice big, long, broad, flat ridge like you often get in Yorkshire. High Pike Hill, 642 metres. The highest point up there is our destination. To the right of us across Mallerstang and the valley we've got Wild Boar Fell, another great hill. Do that one sometime soon. Can you remember that film back in the mid-70s, I think? Close Encounters of the Third Kind with Richard Dreyfuss. You remember his character in the film went a bit bonkers, didn't he? And he built a strange looking mud pie in his back garden out of a dustbin. I think it was to resemble a mountain in America where at the end of the film the spaceship landed, and lucky old Richard Dreyfuss got in it and took off. Well, just up here I think we've had a close encounter. Look at this. Do you think the aliens have been up here? Or maybe Richard Dreyfuss? I honestly think a spaceship landed up here, blasted all the turf off the ground with its big rockets and landed on a grassy hump. Right, another interesting bit of information for you. Let's get up there. Mallerstang Edge, in fact, is a rocky limestone scar that runs down the side above the valley of Mallerstang, a bit like the scar we were on yesterday when we were over Jack Standards. It's actually nowhere near the summit, so we might go down and have a bit look and wander back via the scar, or we might just put the drone up to go and have a look for us. I have been over that way and it is quite impressive, so I'd like to see it and show you. I was listening to the boxing last night on Radio 5 Live, the Usyk and Daniel Dubai's fight. Usyk, I love him, the Ukrainian. He kept his heavyweight title of the world and also unified all the belts again. He's just phenomenal. I really do like him because he's so humble. What a knockout. He absolutely savaged him, really. My point is, they were kind of writing Usyk off now because he's 37, and at the end of the fight in his ring interview he reminded them that he was only getting started. My point is, I'm 58 in 10 days time, 20 years older than Usyk, and they were writing him off. Getting older, you do kind of start realising your mortality. Don't like getting older, but you got to think with that Usyk mentality, it doesn't matter what people say or what people think, you just got to keep going. So in 50 years time, if you're watching this video, remember the old man and the old dog that made it. Keep sharing it, show your friends, let them see the old boy that never give up. Plenty of nice boggy sections as you cross between the two summits. That first cairn isn't the summit, plod past it, and a little higher up you'll find a tiny pile of stones, which is the true summit. It's just here. 709 metres, high seat. It's a Hewitt, a Nuttall and a hump. There's the Rockstar, beat me to it. Look at this for a barren wilderness. Across the valley there we've got 9 standards rig. You can just see the cairns. You won't can see them from this camera. Behind us the big broad ridge we've just came up. As I said earlier, Mallerstang Edge is further down there. We're going to go down and have a look because I can see there's a path across the valley. Wild boar fell. Let's see if we can find a way down to that path below us. We may have to go off piste a little bit. There are multiple hills you could follow along the ridge if you wanted to go longer. It's leading us past another little pile of stones. I think the first one was higher. The scar we're looking at is Hanging Stone Scar. We can't actually see Mallerstang Edge Scar yet because it's below us. Somehow I've got to work away off the top of here though. I can see there's a path down there. Quite steep this little bit here. Not too bad though. I'm going to drop into the bottom and work my way over to that edge. If you don't fancy dropping down into the bottom where it's a little bit more sketchy navigating, just go back the way you came. We're down in the bottom now and I'm going to do what I did yesterday. I'm going to get closer to the edge of the scar where I know the ground will be a bit cleaner and a bit harder. There's a bit of limestone up here. I'm going to head for that, and then beyond that, on the brow of that hill, I'm sure I can see a bit of a path. I've just stopped for 2 minutes because I want to show you this piece of stone that I just stepped on. It's a piece of limestone. It's absolutely beautiful. It's probably been here for hundreds of years, thousands of years. Look, it's actually split. Wow, imagine that. Imagine making a piece of garden furniture with that. Oh, beautiful bit of stone. While I was down there showing you that piece of stone, I just caught out the side of my eye a cairn just below me there. I'm almost certain that cairn will probably meet up with that path that I think I can see higher up. So we'll go down and have a look. And look at this work of art. Wow, how is that cairn standing on that sloped rock like that? That, folks, is an absolute work of art. Look at that. The block it's sitting on is almost square, but look at that one below it. I think that one is perfectly square. We're on the edge now. I think we're on a bit of a path, and like yesterday, the ground's hardened up on the edge. We're away from all them peat hags and bogs in the middle of the ridge. and we're heading the right way, so just a case of plodding our way back and discovering any more little features and hidden gems. What a view from this side of the hill, the valley of Mallerstang. Almost opposite me in the bottom there is Pendragon Castle, where King Arthur, or King Arthur's father, I'm not quite sure, used to live. When we do Wild Boar Fell, we'll go over and have a look at Pendragon Castle. I'm an hour and a half away from the Lake District, and just look at how beautiful it is up here. Another cairn there, marking the edge and the path. I mean, just look at how beautiful it is behind me there. That is as beautiful a place as anywhere in the United Kingdom, anywhere I've walked anyhow. I'm right above Mallerstang Edge now, it's right below me, but I can't see it, so I'm going to go a bit further along the ridge and maybe fly the drone a bit lower down there and hopefully see something. We're going to head back up to that first little hill that we crossed this morning, High Pike Hill, and then back to the car. Here's the path here. There's nothing on the map marking this path, but it's called White Bank and it's leading to High Bray, big sky country. That's the North Pennines. The furthest away point is Crossfell, 893 metres. The Victorians used to think Crossfell was the highest hill in England before they discovered there was a few in the Lake District that was higher. It is the highest fell in northern England outside of the Lake District. And it's also the coldest place I've ever been in my life. That includes Scotland in winter. Savagely cold in the North Pennines when you get them prevailing easterly winds, the helm wind. Whew. The helm wind blows on Crossfell when there's no wind anywhere else. It's a bit of a phenomenon, if that's the word. That outcrop in front of us is High Pike Hill. We're going to head over there and then back down the path that we came on, all the way back into the bottom and back to the van, which is just up there. I'm going to wrap the video up here and the weekend up here. I hope you enjoyed our little van camping weekend. 9 Standards Rigg and Mallerstang Edge. Fantastic walks, both of them. You probably won't find either of these walks on YouTube or on the internet, because I actually went off piste looking for paths and found some decent routes for both walks. So I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope they're coming useful for you. If you like the content, please think about giving me a subscribe. If you're new to the channel, there's plenty more to come. Something a bit different, a bit of everything really. Scrambling, remote stuff like this, van camping. So it's bye from me, and bye from our lad the Rockstar.